Hi, I'm Shanae Roby, and today we are interviewing Cecil Blutcher at the Goodman Theater for the play Bus, an amazing play. Hi, Cecil.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
So, I'm going to ask you a few questions about the play. When we think about the play Bus, how do you want that play to impact the audience that's watching the play?
Hmm. Um, how do I want it to impact them? I would say it's a good question. I don't know if I have an answer to that, honestly. I think what my experience in doing it is definitely like some meditation of sorts. It's like it's kind of it takes me to a different place, literally and metaphorically too. And so it attacks a lot of things that we encounter and we see and experience every day, but then it goes to literally a different world. And in that world, we see freedom, we see wrestling with like really deep parts of ourselves that we don't really get the luxury to do every day. And so I think watching all the people go on their different journeys, I hope that they kind of go with them on that ride and experience all those things that they go through.
And you know what? As you were saying that, I watched your literal transformation through the play, which is awesome to see, and the progression of the play as it grows. So in that, the impact of that is tremendous. It is truly tremendous. But there's comedy through it all. You know, it's the comedy. So tell us a little bit about the comedy and how it ties into that literal transformation that takes place.
It's funny you mentioned that part. Little divergent. When we did it in Atlanta, my family, who is from Birmingham, Alabama, came to see it, and my one of my aunties, she told me afterwards. She didn't tell me on the front end, but she's on the back end. She was worried about the racial components just because it's really triggering for her. And she came and she said she really appreciated the comedy and because it allowed her to kind of process it in a different way. She thought it would be more like she thought it would be attacked in a different way. And it was really interesting to hear her say that because I'm like, I don't know. I don't really think too much about like funny, sad. I just kind of just do the truth. And then, but hearing her say that, she kind of said it kind of felt like a little bit of sugar to help the medicine go down. And it just, and I was like, I've kind of been holding on to that. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe that's important. Like to just not like play at it, but like, it's like, know that this is humorous and it's part of the journey and it's part of the ritual, and it's an important part of making the message land.
Yes. I truly felt that because going in, I said, okay, comedy and then bus. How is this going to come together? But the way you put it together on the stage and all the other characters, it's amazing. And it is healing. It is a healing aspect that takes place. Can you speak about that a little bit?
Yeah, it's definitely healing. I think watching someone like go to like the edge, like a place that we're kind of taught not to go, like don't go to that place, like what Mr. Wood says at the end, I go into that place, I made myself small. Like he's talking about his perspective from a black man, but as black people, we all kind of have to do that. And then you can extrapolate that and say marginalized people put themselves in some kind of a box, but we start with the Afrocentric experience because that's what this is about. And like I think watching us go through that, and I can just really go off of what I'm kind of hearing, what people are saying. It seems like it's giving people the liberty to like wrestle with the things they're going through, like inside. And I think that's powerful. That's honestly what I hope for every day. My prayer every day is that it lands in that way. Like it does to them kind of what it's done to me because it's been a process and I'm not the same, So I don't want them to be the same either.
Well, that leads to my next question. Acting in the play, how have you transformed over time? Because it is a true transformation as you do it every day. And I'll say this before you answer: the audience, just sitting amongst the audience, everyone was impacted and laughing and just all the comments. So it's happening.
Um, I would just say I just let it happen. It's very powerful. I think it's like it's kind of already there for us in the the script and the circumstances and the beautiful set design and the world that's kind of been created. So I think for me, there's different ways to like approach it mentally. One is like, oh, this is a lot, you know what I mean? But I try not to go there on my good days. Of course, we're human, but like I think the other way is just like, yo, this is a gift. This is going to help someone, and it's important. And you don't often get to do those kinds of things. And so when I hone in on that and kind of just kind of show up and kind of let it happen, kind of like at church when you just kind of like let the Spirit move, it will move and it will do what it needs to do. And I think it's trusting that. So there's really no transformation. It's really just trusting what happens and going with it.
So we will end by I want to ask you one last question. What do you value most about this experience with this amazing play Bust?
What do I value most? First, getting to come home because I'm from here. I was born at Northwestern Women's Hospital, not too far from here, and I grew up. And so, like, that's a big, it feels like a full circle moment. Opening night, there were like teachers and old friends and just people I grew up with. And so I think it's really, that's special. And to tell a story like this is incredibly special because I think it's really moving doing it for the young people. I think when we do it for them and the way they respond, it reminds me that, oh, this is different and it's speaking. And I think to me, that's the target audience. I think anybody can take something from it, but like when we go and we speak to the young people, both here and in Atlanta, two very specific places, and to the response that's all I need. And I'm like, okay, cool. All right, it's important. This is good work.
It is good work. And thank you for doing the work. It's an amazing play. Thank you for your time and much success as you continue to grow in your career. You're welcome. This is The Value Show. And again, I want to say thank you to Cecil Blutcher for your time. Thank you for watching The Value Show.